I got a question here. Between huge sales of Tears of the Jungle, Contact Mask, and others, does it feel like we're in a bit of an LB Cole bubble? I don't know. I mean, I'd actually felt like I think I've talked about this in I don't know another video or stream or something like that. Um, LB Cole, right before the comic boom, had been really having some big sales, and so this was very early on when I was getting into comics. But my older brother, who's been in buying and selling comics and everything for quite a bit longer than I have, he was talking about that at cons and everything, he was seeing just like huge demand for LB Cole and big prices for LB Cole, and that seemed to run into the comic boom a little bit. But then it almost felt like it got a little like overheated, and like LB Cole books kind of lost their favor a little bit, and people were moving on to other things, whether that was like Alex Schomburg war covers or Matt Baker romance stuff is like huge right now. But over the last few months, I've seen this resurgence again in demand for the LB Cole books, especially like the key type books. I mean, if you watched that the Comic Connect sale that we live streamed, with Mickey and with Drew, I think it was during mine it was during mine that we had the Startling Terror Tales 11 that sold, and it was like a 6.5 that sold for, remember, like $32,000 or something like that. I mean, it was a huge number. Let's see. I think they're in GPA now. So let's take a look. So Startling Terror, it's the 1952 one. And so Startling, yep, here it is. 6.5 Startling Terror Tales, $33,350. This copy from the Bobby Blue collection, Startling Terror Tales number 11 and 6.5. This sale was wild. Like, I mean, like when you look at other, I mean, just from 2022, 15,600, 2020, 5,800. I mean, when you're looking at the other grades, an 8.5 sold in 2021, peak comic boom, $19,200. This went for over 50% more than that 8.5. Now, this is the type of sale where when I see something like this, what I want to see is another sale. I want to see another sale in a comparable grade, and whether that's a 6 or a 7 or an 8 or whatever it is, and see what it actually goes for. Because I mean, you might see this one down here, this 4.0 that sold for 10,800. You see a big spike there, but there's a reason for that one. So if we go and check out this book is the black logo variant. So now the rough estimate is that this is around 1 in 10 that had this. It came out like this. This was the first printing that came out, and it was supposed to be blue, but it was printed in black. And then we've got this one here. This is the blue. This is what you normally see. I've owned 3 copies of this book. All of mine have been blue copies. I had never seen a black copy come up for sale until this one in August. And I think there was like a restored one on eBay, but I'd never seen a universal black copy. And so that's why this book sold for so much. It was because, at least in my opinion, it was because of that black, logo variant. But then this one came along, and for a 6.5 sold for 33,000. I mean, $5,000 a point. So before I trust that sale, I will need to see another book come up for sale and do something near that, because the one I'm going to point out is Crime Suspense Stories number 22. So Crime Suspense Stories 22 had a huge sale in that Comic Connect auction as well. It had a 6.5. There we go. So you see what happened here? Had the 6.5 that went for $24,150. So huge sale for this book. I mean, just massive sale for this book. And then 1 month later, less than 1 month later, there was another 6.5 that popped up on Heritage. Now, this was still a strong sale, 15,600. I think I had this book going for around 14,000. That's around where I thought this one would go. And instead, it went for 15,600. So, went for a little more than 10% over. So a strong sale. but more in line with what you would expect. And so to me, this shows that this sale, this $24,000 sale, this did not validate that sale. It says that this sale was an outlier, in my opinion. And so I would say this book in a 6.5 is now more around a $15,000 or so book, not a $24,000 book. So I'm going to want to see the exact same thing with that. Let's see, with that Startling Terror Tales number 11. I'm going to want to see a comparable sale that justifies this or shows that, oh no, this is actually a $18,000 book or something like that. So that's what I'm going to be waiting for. You know, the next time one, I mean, these don't sell all that often, but I mean, if we look at this, you know, Startling Terror 11, like they sell enough that you'll probably have a sale in the next, you know, year or 6 months or something like that. Like you have these pop up for sale in these higher grades occasionally. And so we'll see one, we'll see what it goes for. And that'll tell us, was that a, you know, I'm air quoting, like a real sale, or was it just people getting really hyped up in an auction? Some, you know, two people competing. The next time one comes up, it goes for 10,000 or more or less. So that's what I want to see with that before I think that that's a real sale.